In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the throttle body on this Volkswagen Tiguan. This is going to be attached to the intake manifold on the engine. After you've done this repair, you are going to need to recalibrate the throttle body with a specific scan tool. Let's get into it. I'm going to remove this pipe. I'm just going to use a trim tool, get underneath here, and just pop this out. And then same down below, you might need a trim tool to pull that out of the airbox. Take that pipe off. Using a T25 socket, we're going to take these screws out. One there, and there's one on the other side. Take that one out. And this intake comes right off. And disconnect the connector. I'm just using a pocket screwdriver. Just get under here, pop that off. I'm gonna move this hose clamp. I'm just gonna use some large pliers. Just move that off. And grab the hose, slide that off. And using a T30 socket, take this screw. You wanna loosen it up. That's loose. That's just going to stay with the airbox. Just grab the airbox, just pull straight up. It's just has grommets holding it on. We're going to loosen up this worm clamp. Use a 7mm socket. That's good. Now we're just going to use a pick and just get underneath the tube. You just want to separate that from the throttle body. Just loosen that up. Once you take it off from underneath, you'll be able to pull it off completely, but that's at least loose. Using a 7mm socket, take these screws out. I just grab this trim piece on the side. You're just going to pop it out and try to pull it forward. Do the same on the other side. Pull that out. Using a T25 socket, take these screws out. There's one in the middle here. Should be 3 screws on the side. This vehicle only has 2. And do the same on the other side. Underneath here, just using a trim tool, you can just pop that back, and then this slides right off. I'm going to take off this pipe. This is the intercooler pipe. I'm going to just use a pick. You want to move this clip. Just pop this into a service position, or you can pull it off completely. And pull that out. I'm going to disconnect this pressure sensor. Just use a pick. Just going to get under the tab, the back, click that off, disconnect that. Using a T30 socket, loosen up the screw right here. That's loose. That's going to stay with the pipe. And then there's one further up we're going to access. And we'll loosen this one up. All right, loosen that up. Oops. There we go. That's off. I just grab the pipe and pull it down. If it's still stuck on the throttle body, you might have to loosen it up from up top a little bit. And it comes right out. Now we're going to take the lower bolts out of the throttle body. I'm just going to use a long extension and a T30 socket. Take these 2 screws out. There we go. Take the other one out. I'm going to use a swivel socket to help with this one. same T30 socket. Oh, there it goes. It fell to the floor. Disconnect the connector on the throttle body. I'm just using a right angle pick, just right in where the tab is. You can push it in with your fingers, but it's a little tricky. Release the tab, disconnect the connector, set that aside. And I'm going to reach under here, use a T30 socket. We want to take those two top bolts out. That out. And this is the last one. When we take this last one out, you want to hold the throttle body just so it doesn't fall. Take that bolt out. Grab the throttle body. And just pull it out. There it is. I'm going to take the throttle body gasket off. Just want to use a pick. Just get underneath the gasket. Pull that off. Just take note where this little tab is, because there's a slot right there. That's where the new gasket tab is going to go. Pull that off. Take the new gasket. Get that lined up. And you want to just go around and push it in place. All right, that's good all the way around. Now take the throttle body. Get this lined up. And get the screws started. Get the two front screws started first. And just tighten it down slightly. You still want it a little loose before you get the rear bolts in. All right, that's good. Now we'll get the back bolts from underneath. Get those started. Just make sure you push up on the throttle body, make sure it's on the seal, and then tighten the bolts down. And while I'm down here, I can tighten those front bolts too. Now we're going to torque these bolts to 43 inch-pounds. And do the same for the other two. Take the intake pipe, the pipe that goes to the intercooler and the throttle body. Get that lined up on the throttle body. Push that in place. All the way up. You can get this close. Over here, you want to push the clamp in and slide this in. Lock that in place. You can get the bolts started. Go. Let's get the other one started before I tighten that down. All right, snug those down. Snug that down. Take the connector, line that up, click it in place. I'll put this shield up. It's lined up. The screws in, snug those down. Put these two in, snug these down. And do the same on the other side. This plate is going to go right here. Get that lined up. And put these screws in. Snug these down. Using the 7mm socket, tighten down the worm clamp. All right, that's tight. Take the connector for the throttle body, line that up, lock it down, and take the air box, get that lined up, push that down, slide the tube on, and tighten down the bolt. Move the clamp. Go. Take the connector, line it up, lock it down. Now take this box, it's gonna line up, and take the two screws, get those started. Snug these down. Good. And take this tube, get this lined up in the air box, and push it in place. That's good. Now that you're done replacing the throttle body, you want to do a idle relearn or a throttle body relearn. You're going to use a special scan tool and follow the instructions on the tool.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.